Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us today. We're starting off on a negative. Mr. Eubank has decided he doesn't want to show. Bill flown back with Jim this morning. I can't tell you how angry it makes me. This is, I am apologising to you, but I don't feel I should be apologising. Anyone who should be apologising is Chris Eubank Sr. I don't even think it's the son. I know it's not. They agreed that to come here. Richard will show you the copy of the email saying that's why we set this up. And since the last day or so, we've had a situation where they would only show up. And I've got the text here. If a 50,000 bond was put into an escrow, as he don't trust Bill not to put his hands on Junior, that will see you at the fight. If not, then he should be no problem putting the amount in escrow. He's on video saying he will slap him. I will take him at his word. If he has that money to lose, he'll think twice before carrying out a threat. Well, Bill hasn't put anybody in any position. I wrote back to him saying, we're now considering our position regarding the breach of contract, etc., regarding promotions. And he goes on to talk about the Lewis v Tyson fight and the brawl they had, the Lewis versus Rackman fight and Chisora Hay, what happened in Germany. I've never had anything like that happen at any of my press conferences. I would not let it happen. We offered to have 4 security men here. We offered to put a fence down the middle like we did for the Chisora fight. Why we should have to do that, I don't know. Billy's got an impeccable record at press conferences and in fights. He's never done anything untoward in any fights whatsoever. And it's a bit strong when you go from Chris Eubank, who got fined, I think it was 10 grand a few years ago for headbutting Dan Sherry in the ring and was brought up before the ball. It's just crap, and I don't accept what he's saying here. I generally do not think he wants young Chris facing Bill before the fight. I think it's got a lot of what's happened with Chris Eubank Sr. when he fought against Steve Collins many years ago, and Steve Collins absolutely got into his head because Steve Collins had no fear with him whatsoever, and we all know what the results of those fights were. And I think that's what's happening here. I just cannot believe that anybody would behave this way. It's ridiculous to say that we want him to fight, or I want Bill to fight him at the press conference, or slap him or anything, and it's insulting to Bill. As I say, from my point of view, Chris Eubank Sr. is doing his son a great disservice. Ronnie Davis is the name manager, and it's one of these problems again where you've got people who are not licensed in boxing having a say in what's going on. And I think it's really, really sad for Chris Eubank Jr. that he's not here today to help publicise what is a really good fight. He said to me, the tickets are sold, why do we need press conferences? Well, we need a press conference because there are also TV companies involved, and TV companies need to sell subscriptions. That's how wages get paid and so forth. That's all about being professional. It's good enough for Floyd Mayweather, Muhammad Ali, you name it, any boxer that we've ever dealt with over the years. It's just certainly good enough for a young lad called Chris Eubank Jr. who's not even won a title yet, not even had a 10-round fight. So it's very sad and very, very annoying and frustrating, but I don't know what to say to you. And I feel, and more importantly, Bill's taken the trouble on Jimmy to jump an early flight this morning to get here. If anybody thinks this helps us in selling shows, they are absolutely wrong. It is so negative, it's untrue. So he's contracted to do the press conferences. We made a complaint to the British Boxing Board of Control. The Board of Control have written to Ronnie Davis, the manager, and told them they're satisfied that all the security measures that we would have had in place had we needed them this morning. Bill's even got his 2 children here, so I don't see how there's going to be any, he'd be performing or causing any problems in front of his kids. But we dealt with that with the British Boxing Board of Control. Everybody's happy, but the one person who's the most awkward person that you could deal with, the most frustrating person, and he shouldn't take that as a compliment, it's an insult from me to him, is Chris Eubank Sr. As I say, they've taken the trouble to be here, so we're really, really frustrated. You add to that, I've got BT, who are going to do this live today. To get TV companies, finding new TV companies to do business with in boxing is not easy. And they're killing it. He's killing it. This is the fellow who's telling us about he's going to be bearing the banner for British boxing. Well, he's doing boxing a great disservice. A great disservice. We've got 2 more press conferences that he's got to appear at. And we're going to make sure that he does appear at them. Oh, there's going to be some severe problems regarding court actions. I don't want to go down that road. All I want to do is do what everybody else does in boxing. Have the press conferences, get the 2 fighters together so you guys can ask your questions, so the public can see the build-up for the fight. That's what we're doing. That's how it should be done. And that's what we will insist happens on the Monday before the fight and the Thursday. There's 2 press conferences. But this is a killer today for all of us. Anyway, I'm sure you've got, I don't know if you have got any questions to ask, but if you have...
How do you feel?
Listen.
I feel like slapping him.
Listen, Jimmy had to come back anyway, so he had to come back and sort something out. He's back. You know, listen, in my own head, I knew he wasn't turning up for obvious reasons, but, you know, I'll come back here. I've done my training yesterday, so today is my rest day anyway, and I'll get to see my little boys for a couple of hours, so... You know, it's no skin of mine, but I feel more sorry for you who's got other things to do. You know, you've obviously got work to do and other things you've got penciled in, and you take your time out to come and, you know, put this fight out there. Not only his fight, my fight as well, and then you don't show up. Listen, I've had 20 fights, I've boxed all around the world as an amateur, Olympics and everything. Never once have I ever slapped anybody like that or gone up. Listen, it all gets heated, don't it? That's what you all love, heated. This is what sold the fight, but... Just not turning up and wasting people's time is not on for you more than anything.
Bill's represented his country proudly in the Olympics. You know, he's been an ambassador for the sport in the Olympics and been a fabulous professional. Winning the British, Commonwealth, European title, done everything that's been asked of him. It's insulting. It's insulting to him.
And not only that, it costs us Frank money. He's money all the time, wasting and going for like. You know, it's no need of me. Where I flew back from Spain, so you sure I can come 15 or half an hour in the car.
Do you think it's childish mind games?
Listen, there's no mind games being played with me because I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm fit to go tonight, and that's the way it's going to be. Who's ever in that ring with me, whoever they put in front of me. You know, if he's not got the bottle to face me, I'm not going to slap him, am I? Come on, he's going to get enough of that on the fight night, isn't he? You know, I don't need to do it 4 weeks for a fight. I've only got 4 weeks to wait now, and I can't slap him. I can punch his head in for him.
Do you think he wants a fight?
I think, like Frank said, I think it's his dad more than anything. But I think there's times when you're 25 years old, same as me, you've got to become a man for yourself and do your own things. And if you're still get controlled by that by your dad, then is he mad enough to fight?
Frank, is there any actual concern about him actually having a fight with him kicking up?
No, I generally do think the fight will go on. I don't think at the end of the day, because it's all this slapping and all this security. I mean, Jesus, when you've had to deal on the aftermath of what happened in Germany with David Hay and Derek Chisora, and we handled that, there was not a problem with anybody leading up to that fight. You know, we made sure that we ensure that nothing could happen, that everyone would be on their best behaviour. This, I never even thought we was going to be at this stage. I mean, I just cannot believe how this has turned into... These are all the texts and stuff that's been sent through over the last days. This is for a press conference, not for a fight. This is not negotiating a purse. This is to get someone along to a press conference. I think he'll get the fight. I just feel that he's doing his son a disservice. He's doing his son a great disservice. And it's crazy, honestly, I can't think in my whole time in the sport, and even when I was doing the fights weren't licensed by the Boxing Board of Control, that anything like this ever happened. It's 40 odd years. This is crazy stuff. And it's insulting to people.
But they initially agreed to come here before the weekend.
Yeah.
Actually, if you send the press release out about it, they must have agreed.
Yeah, Richard's got a copy of it, so anyone wants to look at it, I'll show you. But it's frustrating, and you're all here today, and we're all here for a reason. I mean, on paper, this is a cracking fight, and it's a fight we all want to see. We worked very hard to put it together. As I've said before, we, for want of a better expression, we wiped our mouths and done things in a contract I've never done before, accepted things because I want to deliver this fight. The fans want to see it, the fighters want it, I want it. And Chris Eubank, who's senior, you know, this is his moment of glory again. He's back in the limelight, isn't he? He's back in the limelight, and for him, what he's doing is not right. It's not right. It becomes more about him than it does about the fight. You know, my last communication with him yesterday was, you know, was exactly how I feel about it. I think everybody, if I can find the bloody thing, it was. He's talking about coming back. Was it? Let's meet in the coming days. I've had a message from a letter from Robert Smith telling him that he had to attend a press conference, and they were satisfied with all what we had in place. And where we are is now is that he says Billy has put himself in a position. If we can't get past that, then I don't know what to say. I don't know what position Bill's put us in. And I just went back and said, best you don't say anything because nobody's really interested in what you're saying. It's just Billy Joe Saunders and Junior that the fans want to hear from. They don't want to hear from me. They don't want to hear from Chris Eubank Sr. They want to hear from the two guys they're fighting. It's not about Chris Eubank Sr.
What sort of things did you have to agree to in the contract?
No, you don't
Just
want
give
to
us
know.
an example.
Do you know, I'm not even going to go there. Some of it's just too trivial and embarrassing that you wouldn't even, you know, you spent more time on all this than we did on agreeing the fee. Normally, I'm arguing about the money, and I get that. I understand that. You know, if somebody wants a tenner more, we'll argue about it unless if we don't feel it's worth it. That sometimes goes on for a while. This was the most trivial crap you could imagine. And here we are again today, you know, wasting everyone's time. You know, anyway, it is what it is. But Bill's going to be there. Tickets are going well, but this is about promotion. This is about selling fights. I'm sure Sky wouldn't stand for it, would they? Wouldn't stand for it at all. You know, if this was a pay-per-view show, would they be would this be happening? No, it would not.
Jimmy, what do you think about all this?
I think something as Frank said it all, and Joe, what can you say? It's embarrassing. It's all about Billy Joe and Chris Eubank Jr., not about Chris Eubank Sr. or Jimmy Tibbs. It's about them fighters. Frank's gone out of his way to settle this up, and it don't surprise me though. I'm not surprised.
Jim said he didn't think he would show.
I don't think so. He thinks he's getting in his head, but no one's getting in his head. He knows exactly where he is.
And look how fit he is. Now, right now, I mean, I'm looking. I know how fit he is. I know how hard he's working. So it's going to be it's going to be good on the night.
It's all I've been doing over those
And
parties.
there won't be no slapping. No slapping.
No slapping. It's all I've been doing over those partying, drinking, eating rubbish food. I'm not even ready for him, so he's got nothing to be scared for.
When do you go back, Billy? Today?
Today, yeah. Tonight I fly back again. I better not slap him because I'll get fined. I should take a leaf out of his dad's book and headbutt him. Listen, if he's frightened to face me and scared to face me, I've got one of my sons over there, two of them. You know, if he wants to meet one of them and do a press conference with one of them while I'm not in the country, he's entitled to do that. One's 7 and one's 5, so it's not a problem. I'm sure we ain't frightened of them. Or what we can do, if you want, we do a press conference with my dad and Chris Eubank's dad. Let them have a few punch-ups.
Your dad will slap him.
Bill, how's the camp going out in Marlborough?
It's going very well. I'm out there, the MGM, everything's going perfectly. You know, I'm in the best place, you know, food-wise, fitness-wise, health-wise, everything I want, you know, Daniel and the boys and that there. And I'm around world-class fighters as well out there. You know, on the runs it's competition, everything's competition. I'm running up the mountains and it's unbelievable. It's something that I can't do it. And this camp, you know, Daniel set it out for me, and you know, I'm thankful for him. And you know, and the MGM is right there, isn't it? Right where it needs to be for me anyway. And I think that'll be my camp now from fight on to fight on.
Still, do you find it frustrating that whilst you were out the country, Junior's already attended a press conference?
Not really. I suppose he knows that I'm not going to be the same as what Frank says. Listen,
You know you weren't going to be.
at a press conference, that's all I'm going to do is tell the truth. I'm not going to sit and lie to boxing people, because if I sit here and I tell you all now I can smash Golovkin and I'm going to be the next Floyd Mayweather, you're going to look at me like I'm an alien. I mean, and I'm only going to tell the truth. I'll speak what's on my mind. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But, you know, for not turning up and going on now, I'm not disappointed. I knew that he didn't show anyway. But like I say, Jimmy had something to do here anyway, and I get to see my little boys for a couple of hours on my day off, so it's only 2 hours at my time. 2 hour flight, done.
Frank, have they said anything about the Wayne? Because obviously they're going to have to go head to head after the Wayne. Have they said anything
Well, they're
about
going to
not
have to
doing
do
that?
what every fighter has to do for every fight. That's what's going to happen. That's what they're contracted to do. There's not going to be separate weigh-ins. They're going to weigh in at the same time. That's all the things that are going to happen. But why do we need, but it's not about that. That's just part of boxing. The press conference where the fights take place on the night in the ring. That's where it all matters. All the talk, everything, whatever's said, it's all the build up. But on the night is when the fight happens. But leading up to the fight, we need to, you're here today, because obviously there's an interest in the fight. Obviously there's an interest, and it'd be nice to get some more publicity for the show to make it into an event, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to turn fights into events and get them on, if we can, on the back pages. It's great for the sport, but this is just detrimental to the sport. And how on earth Chris Eubank Sr. can talk about this is how representing the future of British boxing. I mean, he's not been in boxing for how many years at all, professional boxing. Did professional boxing stop when he stopped fighting? Did it all go by the wayside? I think it's gone from strength to strength. And now we're back to the little bit of, the Chris Eubank Sr. business.
Also, I think that in the contract, I'm at a press conference on the Monday of the fight, Frank,
Yep, and Thursday.
And the Thursday. As an art of that, he at least should be up there one for the fight week. Because just on the Friday it's the weigh-in, and on the Saturday that's when the action can start.
Frank,
Like I say, it's not fair on you more than anything, because there's obviously better things to do than come here if he's not going to turn up, and you're not going to get what you want. But that's obviously down to him and his dad.
Frank, when he suggested about the Brighton thing, did you give that any thought about actually
No,
just going up there?
Do you want to be going down to Brighton today for a press conference? And if we'd have taken it up, do you think there's no way it's going to be together? But we're not going. The fight's not in Brighton. It's in the venue next door. That's where it's taking place. Why would we want what? And why would the British, Commonwealth, and European champion have to chase after the challenger? He's the guy that's won all the belts. He's given him a voluntary defence. He wasn't number one in any of those organisations to fight him. This is a voluntary defence.
Billy, obviously it's a big fight. Do you regret taking it now with all this?
Listen, it's all this is mind games. I believe he's going to fight on the night. No, I don't regret taking it, because before I move on to World Honours, I just want to prove what he is. Because what I don't want to move on and people say, well, he missed years to come or months ago, he didn't fight him, he avoided him. I avoid no one. I've boxed all undefeated fighters who Frank's put in front of me and beat him. And this is just another one. And if anything, he's going to be one of the easiest I've beat out of the lot. And people say I'm taking him lightly. Do it look like I'm taking him lightly now? I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm only going to get better. There's still a month to go. I don't regret not taking this fight one bit, no.
What about yourself, Frank? Do you look back on all the issues, obviously it's help with ticket sales and subscription, do you look at it and think it's frustrating, this?
Yeah, it is frustrating, because it's, you're wasting so much of your time on dealing with garbage. It's just trivial crap. And life's too short. You want to worry about doing other things. To be, arguing about and having long debates about whether you're going to go to a press conference and if you're going to put 50,000 quid in escrow so that he keeps his hands off his son. Well, what happens if, he pushes him and Chris pushes him and he pushes him back? He loses 50 grand. I mean, it's just stupid. The whole scenario is just beyond a joke. Just show up for the press conference, sit here, say what's got to be said. I'm sitting in the middle. We've had security people there get it done, dusted, everybody gets their stories, we all go off and get back to training. Simple as that. I mean, it's just hard work. This is all negative publicity. This isn't good publicity at all. It's so negative, it's untrue. And it's, as I say, what I'm really disappointed with is that we've got, BT in the sport. We've got them in there. We've got them in talking, about doing it, doing a special little programme on this fight. And now we're losing the opportunity on that. How can that be to anybody's benefit? How can that be of benefit to Chris Eubank Jnr? Because that's what it's about. It's not about his old man, it's about him.
You mentioned Chris Eubank Sr. Do you ever speak to Ronnie or Chris Eubank
Ronnie,
Jr.?
look, did you watch the fight last week? Was it last week? Before?
Yeah.
What says is he got told to get out the ring so his dad could stand there and pose in there. So please, let's be honest about it. It's the Chris Eubank Sr. show. The son is what it should be about. Anyway, I don't know if you've got any more questions because I don't know what to say. Run out. You got anything to say? No, he's got nothing to say.
Right, Frank, what's going to happen if Senior gets in the ring on the night?
Well, it's up to him. If he's got a licence, he's entitled to be in the ring.
Is he entitled to be in the ring? Is that
Yeah,
what it is?
if he's got a licence, I don't know whether he's got. I think he has got a border control licence, so he's in there. But you're only allowed one man to be working on the inside of the ring, and the other two guys are on the either side of the ropes.
He might not last around for him to get in the ring yet.
But you know what? Who cares whether he gets in the ring? All I'm interested in, his son's in the ring, and Bill's in the ring. The rest, everybody else doesn't matter. Jim's working really hard. He knows what it's all. He knows his game. He's working hard on the training. But it's about Bill. It's about Junior. That's what it's about. Not anyone else. That's all the fans are paying. They're not paying for listen to me rabbit on like I'm doing now. Not paying to hear about Jim or paying to see Chris Eubank standing there in his latest whistle posing. They're there to see the fighters. That's what it's about. Right, I think I don't think there's anything else to say. Unless anybody's got a... No, all done? Thanks very much. Again, apologies from our side on today. Thank you.